Thank you for taking a moment to watch this video, and on this specific training we're going to continue our Salesforce integration and setup, and more specifically we're going to continue talking about the task object, initiating a PhoneBurner dial session from the task object. If you're like most people, you end up with a lot of tasks that are due, overdue, past due, that you need to just power through. And PhoneBurner is perfectly suited for this. If you watched our previous video, I showed you how to add the begin contact and begin lead PhoneBurner session buttons to the task object. Now on this specific training, I want to walk you through actually doing a dial session. So let's go ahead and load a view. I'm going to take a look at my overdue tasks. Here you can see I've got two overdue tasks. One of these happens to be related to a contact, and the other happens to be related to a lead. I'm going to go ahead and select these two records. Once I've selected the tasks that I want to initiate my dial sessions from, I have to choose whether or not I'm going to do a contact PhoneBurner session or a lead PhoneBurner session. You see, when you're in a PhoneBurner dial session, we can either call contacts or leads per session. We can't mix or match. So even though I've selected two tasks, when I click Begin Contact PhoneBurner Session, the actual session itself will only call the contact records. So let's go ahead and start that session. All right, so now we're ready to start making calls, and you'll notice that only one record was added to our dial session, even though we had selected two. And so you don't have to think about, did I select tasks that were related to contacts, or did I select tasks that were related to leads? PhoneBurner is just going to add the contacts or leads depending on which button you click on when you start the dial session. So let's go ahead and start dialing. And here you can see I click the button to begin a contact dial session, and I'm actually seeing the contact details on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and mark this as live answer and end the call. And just as if we had initiated this dial session from the contact object directly, I can create a note, I can create a follow-up task, I can edit this record right here in this dial session. Any updates I make to this contact record will update that record in Salesforce. And of course, if I click on Edit in Salesforce, it's not going to take me to the task, it's going to take me to the contact record, which in most cases is exactly what I want to do. Here you can see that past due call listed there. And of course, anytime I disposition the call, let's say he's not interested right now, so I click that Not Yet Interested button, my session ends. Let's go ahead and close that window. Let's refresh that record, and you'll see that that call was logged to that contact record. Now let's go back to the task object. Let's hit back, and let me show you that one more time, only this time I'm going to choose the Begin Lead PhoneBurner Session. Again, I selected two records, so at this point Salesforce thinks, hey, there might be two records that need to be called here. And as you can see, only one record was added to the dial session because only one of those was a lead. So let's go ahead and start dialing. Once we start dialing, you'll see that the lead details are loaded in the dial session window, just like we saw before, only of course, it's the lead object that we're calling. Any edits or changes we make to this record here in the dial session will get saved back to Salesforce once we save them. Again, any notes or follow-up tasks that we create will be attached to this lead record. And of course, any disposition we click will log a completed call to that lead record. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and refresh. And there you go. You can see that that call to the lead that we initiated from the task object did create a completed task on that lead record. So anyway, that's a quick little overview of how you can start initiating your dial sessions from the task object so that you and your team can start getting more done in less time. Thanks again, and happy dialing.